going on, everybody? It's Geoff Grammer here in the pit. It is Thursday, November 21st, 2024, for those that don't know the year by now. We are in the pit for tonight's Grambling State at UNM Lobos men's basketball game. I have a guest coming on in probably about 10 minutes or so. Aaron Katsula coming on, assistant coach of the Lobos. We'll talk a little bit about tonight's game, about the past weekend's game in New York at St. John's that the Lobos had, and we will talk, obviously, Lobo hoops. Send in your questions. I will answer whatever you guys got. I hope you guys can hear me right now. The microphone on my side says everything is working. Got a text message says it looks like it's working, so here we are. We are live in the pit. Like I said, tonight's game against Grambling State, the Lobos are coming off a loss to St. John's Sunday in Madison Square Garden in New York City. It was a game that basically the Lobos weren't really in most of the game. They made a nice run in the second half for cut it down to 4 points at one point. But really, it was one of those games that the lead was built as such that if the other team, the Lobos in this case, make a run, they really had nothing left by the time they made that run. So that was about all they had was enough energy to make the run, not enough energy to get over the hump, if you will. And it was a game that really was disappointing in a lot of respects. In terms of the UCLA game the week prior, UNM showed that they could play physical, that they could be tough, they could be an aggressive team, and I'm kind of curious what happened in a week's time. Now, I will say this: St. John's is a big team; they're a good team, and I think at halftime they're up 14 on Baylor right now as we speak. I don't have the score up on my screen right now, but I believe it's 44-30 at halftime for St. John's. It's a really good team. I have them as an AP voter. I actually have them ranked 15th. Yeah, it's 44-30 at halftime. They're in the Battle of Atlantis in the Bahamas. And, number 22, St. John's, beating number 13, Baylor, 44-30 at the half. I have St. John's ranked 15th. I'm a believer in them. I was before they played the Lobos as well. I actually had them highest or higher than any other AP voter. This week, there's a couple of us that have them as high as 15, but overall they are ranked number 22 this week. So, good sign for the Lobos that they're kind of whooping Baylor right now. As Chris on YouTube just kind of noted, St. John's whooping Baylor right now. So let's talk a little bit about tonight's game. The Lobos are 22.5. Actually, I think they're up to 23.5 point favorite. That's a little too high in my estimation. If you look at Ken Palm, you look at Mark Torvik, you look at some of the analytics that I maybe look into too much sometimes, but I'm a big believer in. It's a little under 20 that they probably should be favored. But I can't imagine there's a whole lot of people in the betting public that are betting on Grambling State coming to the pit after a Lobo loss, thinking Grambling State's going to really do much of anything tonight. So we'll see. While I think Grambling State can put up a good fight, this shouldn't be close. This shouldn't be a Nicholls State game where Nicholls State made a run at the Lobos late in the half, and you're still wondering in the final couple of minutes of the game who was going to win. This should not be that. So first, let's get a couple of your questions. We got Greg Padilla on X asking me, Jeff, is Daniel Thomas going to redshirt? I don't think a final decision has been made, but the reason he has not gotten in the game so far is to preserve that red shirt. His status, what is his status? I mean, right now he's suiting up. He's traveling. He's available every game. I think the point of him not playing to date is because they don't want to burn a red shirt and just have anything get messy with that. So that's what I know about Daniel Thomas. Nothing has been announced. I will say that all three walk-ons, I guess they're going to redshirt. Maybe certainly Shane Dumas-Sanchez out for the year with a shoulder injury. Daraji is also injured right now with a shoulder injury, coincidentally. Both of them redshirted as walk-ons last year. The other walk-on, the Cueva grad, Albuquerque Prep, used to play for ABC, Dylan Chavez. I did see his dad comment on social media that he's going to redshirt, but it was a great experience for him to get to go to New York. They have not formally announced he's going to redshirt, but it sounds like I'll take the word of the kid's dad that he will be redshirting this year, but that is the first I saw that. So that's kind of the redshirt status. It's all three walk-ons. redshirting in some capacity, either by medical wise or other. And then also, like you said, like Gregory was asking about Daniel Thomas, what's his status? I don't know because they haven't formally announced it yet. I suppose things can change, right? If for the next couple of weeks, one of the fives gets injured and Daniel Thomas sees a path to a lot of playing time, then maybe he changes his mind. Maybe he does play this year. But right now he's going through practice. He's suiting up for every game. He is available for every game. And he's just not going to get in, I think, until they know for sure that he's going to redshirt. Another question here. We got, let's see here. Joe Marquez asking us, what's up with Donovan's knee? He's gonna, as far as I know, he's suiting up tonight. I haven't been told otherwise. But I can't imagine they're going to tax him too much in these next two games. The Lobos play Grambling State, who's preseason number 1 in the SWAC. Sunday they play Texas Southern, who's preseason number 2. Grambling State has the preseason offensive player of the year in the league. Texas Southern has the defensive preseason player of the league in the league. Two good SWAC teams, but two SWAC teams. The Lobos should be able to be the best of the SWAC, and should be able to do so with Donovan not having to play 38 minutes if his knee is still bothering him. He did hurt this knee, just so everyone knows, before the UCLA game. He went down in the UCLA game, walked off the court. People were worried. They thought UCLA was going to make a run. They did not. He comes back on the court. People are excited. He had hurt the knee prior to that. I was actually at a practice when he slipped on a wet spot on the pit floor, just right over there. It was at the end of practice. He walked off on his own power. I didn't think much of it. Then a few days later, they played their exhibition against UTEP, and I was kind of thinking, well, maybe they don't play him tonight, just an exhibition. He played that night with the injury. He's been playing with the same injury all season so far, and it's sort of a banged, bruised up knee. It's not necessarily something like a ligament type thing that I'm aware of. It's fallen multiple times on it and hurt his knee, but so far hasn't missed a game. I don't anticipate he'll miss any time unless something else comes up with the knee. And as of now, I don't think he'll miss time. But it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that they rest him a little bit with lower minutes, a little load management in game, I suppose, as opposed to just having him rest the entire game and sit out. I think they'll play him, keep him sharp, keep the offense rolling. There's still a lot for this team to get better at, and you need your floor general. You need Donovan Dent on the floor to do that. It's kind of asking a little too much of a guy, of a freshman like Kate Dodson, to basically run the show if this early in the season, if Donovan can go. So I think for everybody to get the best out of what they're trying to get out of this team right now, I think you do need Donovan on the floor if he can go, and I think he will go. 40 St. John's, Baylor 40, St. John's 53. I have 44-30 actually. I don't know what your score you're looking at there, Ice Baby. I have it as St. John's 44, Baylor 30 at halftime. Either way, it looks like St. John's is up by 14 points. So we got a Go Lobos here going on right now. So what you're looking at right now, you're looking at the pit floor, Bob King Court, and Grambling State Tigers, the preseason number 1 in the SWAC, warming up right now. In a few minutes after the game film upstairs here, I'm going to have assistant coach Aaron Katsura, who's going to talk to us about Lobo basketball, just in general, a little bit about tonight's game. He doesn't have a scout. Whoever I have on the pregame show like this, I can tell you probably isn't the coach with the scout. He's got a little more work to do pregame, so and he's coming up right now. But we'll kind of ask him a little bit about that, what the duties are when you do have the scout and when you don't. Let me adjust this camera here for a little bit. You throw those on there, Aaron. I'm going to adjust this camera, so just a second here. Let's see if I got you on here. High-tech stuff here, by the way, guys. This is really, really high-tech stuff here. There you are. Let me zoom in on you a little bit here. Look, I got a little remote just in case I can't reach that far. Let's see if I can. It's not zooming in. Oh, there we go. There we are. Aaron, what's up, man?
How are we doing?
Let's see if I can hear you here. Let me take you off mute. How about that? All right, now how are you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm good, man. I think you guys can all hear him. It looks like the microphone on my end is working. So if you guys can't hear him for any reason, let me know. I know you guys don't ever scoreboard watch, but just so you know, before you got down here, we're looking at St. John's Baylor halftime score. Coaches never scoreboard watch, but if they did, Aaron would certainly know that it's 44-30 at halftime. So anyway, let me answer this one real quick. As far as recruiting news goes, the recruiting news is this: National Early Signing Day was last week. That's passed. I don't think there'll be any major concrete recruiting news anytime soon, other than you guys are recruiting all the time, right?
All year round.
What does recruiting look like right now? Is it just really a lot of phone contact and a lot of texting, I assume, and stuff like that with guys you've already made contact with?
Yes. So, on off days, we still try to get out and go to some high school games, college games. But we're always evaluating, building our lists out for, the spring. So we're constantly, watching guys, engaging guys, making sure that, it's time, when.
How many new contacts do you make during the season? Is during the season pretty much what I don't know what the number is, 50%, 90%, 100%, like who you have is who you contact and you wait till the end? Or do you make new contacts throughout the season with recruits?
No, during the year, like, we go to, for example, we'll get recruiting classes in December.
Yep.
We'll be evaluating, going to this year, start building out our list there. So, anywhere between maybe 5 to 20 new guys. That way, in the spring, we start evaluating some guys and then contacting some guys and then we're on the road recognize us and vice versa.
The idea of recruiting a high school player for the class of 2025 right now is pretty slim. Not out of question. You guys got Daniel Thomas who played last year, if I remember right. But how likelihood, or what's the likelihood of a high school kid still being a part of this year's class?
You never know. There's always a late bloomer. There's always a guy that goes under the radar. So similar to Dan, we're able to evaluate Dan during the year and watch him. So there's certainly guys like that every single year. It's our job to find them. So I wouldn't rule it out by any means, but it makes sense. I feel like there's an impact.
Still happen, huh?
Yeah.
All right, we got a game tonight, Grambling State. It's a game where, I'm not going to ask you to go too much specifically into Grambling. You can tell us whatever you know, but this is clearly one of those games where you guys schedule some of these games. You guys are a big favorite. You guys are expected to win. How do you convince them, though, that there's still learning to do? There's still something to be gained out of an opponent like this. Does the fact that Nicholls State earlier this year kind of gave you a run help?
Absolutely. All these games are important. Coaches got done telling these guys it's about us. So, obviously, we're able to come back home for some bigger games and watch the film and learn from it. And all these games are about us. So, how we get successful, how we guard the ball, rebound the ball, all things that are in our control are things
What did you? Well, let me ask you personally. What did you think about the New York trip?
It was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
It wasn't my first time in the Garden, but I've never been to the state, but I can only imagine that's what it felt like. So hopefully,
quick bounce back to recruiting, just because I forgot to pull it up a little earlier, but Craig Johnson asking how much recruiting now involves agents and the family as opposed to just the player and the coach maybe. That's a big part of it now, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, or I won't even say unfortunately. I'm actually on board with it. But it's a different world, though.
Oh, absolutely. No, 90%.
Yeah.
90%. You talk to the kid, you talk to his family. You might talk to your coach, or high school coach, but that's the agent. That's just kind of the reality right now. All these kids, high school, junior college, transfer out that is.
I'm curious too, as far as New York goes. When you guys watch the film on that, what's the guys' reaction when you guys got beat up a little bit? You guys were riding high. You guys beat UCLA. Get beat up a little bit early in the year like that. What's their reaction?
Honestly, it's just like all things that we could have controlled, boxing out and those things, the free throw line. Watching it, look at it, it's all within our reach. It's all things that we're in our control. So that's the encouraging part. Challenge though So, I'll be
Got a guest appearance here. We're just going to get a quick wave right here. We got Snake in the house. There's Snake right there. Snake, who's going to win tonight?
Lobos by 30.
We got a Lobos by 30 prediction from Snake.
Love you guys.
Appreciate you, Snake.
Go Vikings.
He does have a package.
He does. He's a Packers fan. Why? How? How do you come about being a Packers fan? Oh, yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense. I have the grandma from Pier, actually, and my grandpa's from St. Paul, both passed, but like Viking-Packer rivalry in our family was something I grew up with, and then I liked the 49ers because I thought the SF on their helmets stood for Santa Fe when I was born in Santa Fe, so that's right. You might have a big game. Not big for me. I know what's going to happen. Well, no, if it was the playoffs, I'd know what was going to happen. Anyway, so when you guys prepare for a Grambling State, what do you know about them? I know it's not your scout, but what do you know about them? They got one really good guard, right?
They got a bunch of good guards.
Ole Miss they lost by 2, right?
At stage, one, Ole Miss got back a lot of pieces from there. So, they got guys that are ball fast, they're athletic. So, they played, these guys have played this is like a big so they're not shocking
When you're not on the scout, or actually when you are on the scout too, I'm curious what your role pregame, like an hour. We're at 38 minutes out. I'm going to get you off here in a couple minutes, but like, so you can go work out with the team. But like, what is your role on a night with the scout as opposed to no scout? Is there a difference?
No, not really. I mean, Coach Howard does just watch everything that we're playing, personnel, so I would this team, vice versa. I've been scouting you guys, watch the game tape, watch standings, so everyone's on the same page.
Well, when you're scouting a team, when do you first start? Like a game like tonight, a Grambling State, it's not like league play where you're a little more familiar maybe, but like, okay, tonight, Thursday night, when did you start, if you had their scout? I know you don't have the scout, but whoever has the scout, like when do you start kind of poking around a little bit, and then when do you really get into the scout?
Yeah, I mean, 10 days in advance. 10 days. For me personally, I try to watch the game today. I'll watch that game multiple times. Monday, I'll watch that.
How much are you doing the editing? How much are you sitting there with the video guy, with Danny in this case? How much are you doing it yourself? Like, you have experience doing it, right? Yeah. So how much are you actually just doing the cuts yourself?
I do 90%.
Okay. I guess in some cases, though, the video guy's going to have to sit with the coach while they do that, right?
Danny does that, the guys do that with them. That's the way I learn, is by just cutting it up myself and getting the feel for it. So.
And it's part of your background, too, though. Like, some of these other guys maybe didn't go through the same thing, right?
Right.
All right. As we wrap this up, then, what do you try and get out of your team after the St. John's loss, going into a game you're expected to win, but a team that doesn't care about point spreads and stuff like that, a Grambling State team that they're here to try and knock you guys off like anything. So, like, what are you guys looking for tonight? Is it individual players doing very specific things? Is it a group thing that you guys want them to be more cohesive? What are you trying to get out of tonight?
What we got to get better at. Obviously, the goal is to win the game by 1-30, doesn't matter. So we want to play at our tempo. Obviously, rebounding, that's something that we've harped on the last 2 days since we went back. And just within our offense, we need the ball moving better. All just finer little details that always.
The rebound surprised you guys a little bit at St. John's?
Yes and no. Like,
I mean, you knew they were physical. You knew they were big.
yes, they're big, they're athletic. You know, I think they shock some of these guys, to be honest. But you know, we knew going into the game it was going to be about offensive stuff and turnovers. They scored 48 points off our turnovers and 17 points. You know, so that's what the game came down to. But it's a great learning experience for you guys. I think it's our goal to get out here and show that we've done the practice that they do on a daily basis and they show up.
Those two stats, second chance points and points off turnovers, are points that I'm not saying you just give to them, but points that could have been prevented without even playing defense, just by finishing your possession or by holding on to the ball. Those, to me, are I like looking at those stats more than anything, because those are the unforced, not always unforced, I shouldn't say unforced errors, but those are the ones you should be controlling.
Right. The ball goes up on the glass. You have no control where it comes out. You have to go get your body really hot and the ball.
Is it?
Got scrappy guys.
He has some size. Got a bunch of good wings and fours out there, right?
Chase down the rebounds. Great at offense. Great at attention. Got a bunch of guys back on this
Appreciate you, man. Got the game coming up in about 33 minutes, it looks like, on the warm-up clock anyway. But, Aaron, I appreciate you stopping by, man.
Go Lobos.
Got the Go Lobos going here. I'm going to flip this camera around and let Aaron get back to work. Let me turn off his mic here. Let me see here. I'll check in on that score here in just a minute, just to let some people that aren't ESPN scoreboard watching know kind of what's going on here. I will, in the meantime, focus this on the Lobo side of the court and let you guys see them a little bit while they warm up. As you can see, not a lot of people here tonight so far, but we still got more than a half hour. We got 36 minutes before 7 still, so we're at 6:24 right now, and sound like a radio DJ now, and giving you the top of the hour report. Let me see what the weather is. It looks like clear skies, 52 degrees outside the Albuquerque metro area. Anyway, as Aaron talked about, like, this is a Grambling State team that, the Lobos should beat, right? They're favored by 20 plus. They're, I think, 22.5, 23.5 was the last I saw. But it is a team that's not coming here, like, caring about that. They just played an Ole Miss team. Chris Beard coached, tough SEC team, lost by 2 points. They can give the Lobos a run tonight if the Lobos are looking past it. If the Lobos do what they're supposed to do, things should be fine. Let's see here. I'm getting a text message. I apologize to anyone who might be having it. The same issues, but I'm getting a text message saying that there are buffering issues on your guys' end, and I'm not sure if that's happening with everybody or not, but on my end it's showing up just fine. It has not shown any connection issues, so my apologies if there are some connection issues going on right now. The microphone issue, I think I solved there for a while. Aaron was quiet at first because I kept turning up his headphones and not his mic because, well, that's because I'm the guy running the show. So, let's see here. I am going to read through. Okay, now I'm seeing here. It looks like X might be the issue, but on YouTube things are going fine. So we'll take a look at all that stuff. We'll see how that stuff's going. Just so you know, a little series history on this series. This is the fourth time that the Lobos have played Grambling State. 3-0 against Grambling State. 22 or something like that in a row in non-conference home games. Let's see. The Lobos won 21 straight regular season non-conference home games. And the last loss that they had was, I thought I saw it here somewhere, but I can't remember what it was. Point being, this is a game the Lobos should win, right? Health-wise, they are fine except for Donovan's knee, and Donovan's knee should be good enough to go tonight. I'm looking on the court right now. I don't see anybody in street clothes that surprises me. I do see Donnie out there suited up. He's actually sitting down right now, but he is suited up and he's been going through warm-ups. Sitting next to Peyton, who pretty much runs the show for Lobo basketball. Looks like everybody else is suited up and going through their warm-ups right now on the court, all the big men. I don't see anybody sitting out in street clothes. So those are good signs for the Lobos right now. Checking in on some other scores right now. That St. John's Baylor game is getting closer. Baylor's cut it down by 7. They're now at 59-52. We're going on midway, about 12-minute mark of the second half. Give you some quick updates on some Mountain West scores before we sign off and kind of hand over the pregame production and pregame show to the flagship station, 770 KKOD, 770 AM, that is with Robert Portnoy and Hunter Green. But there's one Mountain West game going on right now, and that's in the Charleston Classic. The Nevada Wolfpack was favored by 2.5 against Vanderbilt, and right now they're about 5.5 minutes into that game, and Nevada's up quick in early 12-3. Nevada's a team right now that they've only played home games. Reading too much into too many home games early can kind of be fool's gold sometimes. I think the Lobos have got caught in that trap sometimes, where they've looked really good early in the season when they've been beating up on the Grambling States or the Nickel States of the world here in the pit. And they get on the road and do something else. They haven't done that this year. They already got on the road. They got the neutral court win against UCLA. They already got a true road game. To count as a true road game in Madison Square Garden against St. John's. So the Lobos have kind of already taken care of that a little bit this year. And good for them, because it's not something they've done every year. Nevada's a team right now that you got to kind of look at and see, well, what are they? Because they've been looking really good at home. They destroyed the Santa Clara team, that this Lobo team only beat by 2 points in a close scrimmage last month rather. And I moved sides of the court. You got Donovan here right in front of us. And there's Donovan Dent with a red sleeve on that left knee that has been bothering him throughout the season. But this is Donnie right in front of us taking some outside shots. He is a guy that probably needs to really work on expanding that outside shot right now. It is sort of the only offensive piece of the puzzle that is still lacking for him, and I think it's something that he does. He's such a good driver and he's such a good passer that you wonder, does he really need it? Well, yeah, he does, because defenses will start sagging off him. They've done it before. They'll start doing it again this year. You don't see it as much in the non-conference, but teams that know him well know that you just sag off him and it's going to be different. Mark Fuentes has a question. 22 points sounds like a lot to you? Yeah, it sounds like an awful lot to me. A team that just lost by 2 points on the road at Ole Miss. A team that I'll pull up the Ken Palm predictions right now. That's all based on computers. And I will say that Ken Palm is predicting this game to be 83-66. So that would be a 17-point margin. 22 points sounds like an awful lot to me. It's up to 23.5 according to ESPN. Sounds like an awful lot to me. It's hard to beat any team by that much because teams make runs, all that stuff. But I'll also add this: Grambling State. This is the key for the Lobos. That anybody who wants to feel confident about this game is this: the Lobos force a lot of turnovers. Grambling State turns the ball over, I think, more than all the 5 teams in the country so far this year. They turn it over a lot. So you could see a lot of points off turnovers by the Lobos. You can at least see a lot of turnovers. I don't know if they convert them to points or whatever. But I do think the Lobos will win comfortably. I do think they'll win around 20, 22 points. But yeah, if I'm saying leaning one way or the other on if that's a lot, yeah, I think 22 is a lot of points right now for this game. But we shall see, right? That's why they play the game. And I don't know yet I don't know that they've made a decision, frankly. Well, let me back up. I'm sure they've made a decision, but they have not told me or anybody else, to my knowledge, yet who's going to start at the game. I know it's something that got called into question this past weekend when Philip Borishinin did not play in the second half. He had 9 minutes in the first half and basically went 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 0 shot attempts. Didn't even put a shot attempt up, and did not play in the second half. Lost his starting spot for the second half to CJ Nolan, who's been playing great. He played great in that game on Sunday against St. John's. And I think that basically they really wanted to work with Phillip. It has nothing to do with CJ per se. It has more to do with the fact that if you can start a 6'9" 3, if you can start a guy at the wing spot that's 6'9" and capable, and you can bring a guy like CJ off the bench who's a scoring threat, a quick kind of instant offense, not afraid to shoot the second he gets on the floor kind of guy, that's what you wanted from your 6'9". Ideally, the roster makeup right now is that you have CJ Nolan as the first guy off the bench. Ideally, you're going to get good minutes out of Phillip Morgan because at 6'9", he's going to create a lot of problems for teams in the Mountain West. And let's see here, we got another question. Craig Johnson on YouTube is asking who's their guy that's going to hit 10 threes, and that's a good question. They always have them, right? The opposing team's going to hit double-digit threes in the pit. They always seem to. Tonight, their preseason offensive player of the year is get his name here. Contavious Dexter Dozier. Contavious Dozier is preseason SWAC offensive player of the year. He's a 6'1" guard. So it's a matchup you'll probably see Donnie on a lot tonight. And I think he's kind of like Donnie. He can get him paid quite a bit. I don't know how much of an outside threat he is. That's not to say he's not. But if you're looking for one guy to go off, it's probably him. The Lobos know that. He is their offensive threat. So if Grambling State gets double-digit threes, I wouldn't be entirely shocked. But if it's more than 12 or so, then I think that would be a little bit much more than I would predict will happen tonight. So, all right. There's where we're at. Let's see if we've got any other questions that I haven't got to in here yet. As we sign off here, I will say, like I said, it looks like everybody is out there warming up. Everybody is suited up. I don't see anybody in street clothes. And we got on this side of the court, Grambling State will be coming back down. And it looks like everybody over here is good to go as well. So that's it. We're going to sign off now. Got the game coming up in about 30 minutes. Tip-off in the pit between Grambling State Tigers and the SWAC, preseason number 1 in the SWAC against the UNM Lobos, coming off a double-digit loss at St. John's. One that they did make a run in the second half, lost by 4, but overall pretty disappointing in terms of what happened on the court. I know Richard Patino said he got plenty out of that game. Good experience, and it was. And I'll tell you what, as far as computer rankings go, which some of you don't care about, but they do matter, as far as computer rankings go, a road win at St. John's is not in any way going to hurt the Lobos down the road. It was an opportunity lost had they pulled off an upset. But not a lot of people are going to beat St. John's in Madison Square Garden this season. Quick update on the score. Nevada, Vanderbilt now is a 1-point game, 18-17, midway through the first half. So Vandy just scored a bunch of points in a flurry. And then last check-in on St. John's and Baylor. St. John's is still up 9 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the second half. St. John's is up 62-57 on Baylor in the Bahamas. That'll do it for this pregame show. I appreciate you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys for your comments and questions. And yeah, let me know. I'm going to do this every pregame and hopefully get the microphone situation set up right. Hopefully get the buffering situation set up right, because I guess it is still giving some problems to some people on X. YouTube is working just fine. So until next time, thank you guys for watching. Check out all the post-game coverage. We'll have a story online later tonight. We'll have some photos later tonight, of course. And then tomorrow morning, first thing online, we'll have an Emptying the Notebook on abqjournal.com/sports. And you can get that the morning after every regular season Lobo game. Stay up late and working on that. So appreciate you guys for watching. Until next time, thank you guys.